I can't think of anyone who is more maroon and gold through and through than Dick and Audrey.
Ever since Richard's been here, he's been really CMU all the way.
He and his wife were icons around here when I was going to school. I mean, everybody knew Doc and Mrs. Featheringham.
They have supported the university, just what I'm aware of, in so many different ways, not only with their time and their investment in the university, but their involvement.
He has got a great wife. Audrey has been with him every step of the way, and arm in arm. Neither one is better than the other, neither one leads more than the other, at least most of the time, because he still is married.
He and Audrey have a wonderful marriage. They support each other in everything. We always say that Audrey's a saint in putting up with some of the things that Dick does.
He is such a great guy, and I guess the best tribute to him is to look at his children, because they've all turned out fabulous.
When I first came here, I was a new faculty member. He had just retired, but he was still teaching a little bit at CMU. And Dick and Audrey invited my wife and me and my two sons over to their house for dinner. You know, they didn't need to do that, but that's what they wanted me to feel welcome as a new faculty member, because they were committed to CMU.
Well, Dick is a very likable person. I don't know if I've met anyone here on campus that ever had a negative word about him.
He was an outstanding teacher. He can motivate any student, I think.
One of the things that impressed me as a student was his work ethic. And even though he was a tenured professor, very bright guy, he was always prepared for his classes. He never took them for granted.
When AACSB was requiring that there be a business ethics course, and of course the philosophy department couldn't handle the hundreds of students that the College of Business would have. And so we were asked as faculty to volunteer to take a retraining course, I guess you might say, and so we would be able to teach that business ethics course. And Dick was the first one to jump forward.
I will tell you, to this very day, when I write anything professional, if I'm writing a letter, Doc Featheringham's in the back of my head telling me, make sure I'm focusing on the receiver, not on the writer. And I don't write anything without thinking of Doc Featheringham.
When Dick first came here, he was traveling with one of the machine companies, the typewriting machine companies, because he was the fastest, known as the fastest typist in the world.
He, at that point in time, was typing 202 words a minute, which I believe that the world record now is at like 212 or something of that nature. In fact, the electric typewriter wouldn't return fast enough for him to do his full speed.
Yes, it was very disconcerting to be in an office next to him and hear him typing, because he'd be going much faster than I would ever think of doing.
His thirst for knowledge always came across in the phrase, yearning to learning.
While he was a professor here, he took advantage of the CMU tuition credit, and he got a music degree. I believe it was a bachelor's and a master's.
Lots of people draw the possibly the wrong conclusion that if you're a good pianist of some sort, whether it be organ or whatever, you would also be a good typist because of the finger motion. But I think the studies have proved that actually it was just the ability to practice. You had to practice a lot for both of them, and he was willing to practice.
Dick and Audrey are hilarious.
When you sit down and talk to Richard, you know, he always has responses that will make you laugh.
He might even be saying something that if someone else was saying it might not actually be that funny, but his delivery is really good.
I actually spent my honeymoon with Dick. He always liked to remind me of that, and it's true. Dick and Audrey and my former husband and I went on our honeymoon all together to Key West, Florida.
I'm working at the university through his office, and it was coming to spring break. and I had no money, no way to get to spring break. And Doc and his family always used to go down to Fort Lauderdale, actually Fort Lauderdale by the sea, and they would always stay at the Holiday Inn. And so Doc offered to say if I would help drive the family and as well watch the kids for a few hours in the morning, I'd have a spot to crash on the floor. So for 3 years, I was the driver and quasi-babysitter for the family, and obviously bonded very well. And we've been friends, colleagues, and clients for ever since I was 19.
He was very good at looking into the future, always willing to change with the times. When shorthand went out, then he moved to other areas and did very well.
I went into Doc's class and he was teaching us business communications, business writing. But the way he taught it to us was a little different. They'd taken the typewriters out of the room and there were these keyboards with a box and it had a glass on it and you could type the words and they'd come up on the glass. And then if you made a mistake, you didn't have to pull the paper out and throw it away. You could just use an arrow, back it up and fix the word. This was unheard of. It was 1985. This was cool stuff.
Dick is a great role model, not just professionally, but in how you want to age and how you want to progress through your life.
The fact that I think of him 35 years later, whenever I do something, would tell you that he made an awful big impact on students. And I wasn't the greatest student when I was an undergrad, but there were certain people that made an impact on me, and Doc certainly did.
We were really recruiting a family of faculty members. Everybody really loved each other. They loved working here, and that's the environment. So it was a group that loved coming to work each day. It was fun teaching. It was fun doing research. People usually showed up 5 days a week.
And I will say, I think we were, if not the top, next to the top business education program in the United States.